Jesus vai passando o teu poder, meu Pai. Vai passando o teu poder para arrancar todo o mal.
I was a pastor in the Universal Church for 23 years. I always dedicated myself to the work of God. Every church I went to was full. The people would grow. They would be renewed. But deep down, I was proud. I thought it was all because of me, that I did this. That was when I began to fall. I stopped looking to God and relied on my own ability. I thought I could do things through the strength of my own arms. I would go to a church and start doing the work materially and spiritually, and the church would be packed. I did not read the Holy Bible anymore. I did not pray anymore. I did not do purposes anymore. I did not surrender anymore as I was supposed to. I lost the vision, the focus. During that time, I started looking at the difficulties. I viewed the church in a negative way. A few colleagues told me that I was losing my faith and seeing the church differently from when I first arrived. This was also due to the material aspect, the financial part. My father-in-law was financially well. He would help me a lot in the work of God. He would do anything for me. Then, when the moment came to prove that God was with me, I was disappointed. It was not anything like I had imagined. I ended up leaving the body of pastors in the Universal Church, and I thought I could live by my own strength. In the beginning, everything was okay. My father-in-law helped me a lot. He would send me a lot of money. I joined 2 big companies here in Brazil. I was growing financially and could buy things. When I left, I even told the pastor, rest assured, I can take care of my life. I can take care of my soul and my salvation. I already know. I already know that I can take care of it. I am the one taking care of my life now. My money and everything I had was only pushing me away from God. My work was moving me away from God. I did not want to go to church anymore. Things were going quite well until I started having problems in my marriage. My wife started placing obstacles in our marriage. She started to create adverse situations. Then one day, she left our house. She took my son. That was when I faced failure. I had already lost God. I lost my wife. I lost my son. I had lost a part of my life. I began to see it. The penny dropped. I had lost everything. I had lost everything. Then one day, I really missed my son. So I went to his school to see him. When I got there, I was told there was an order preventing me from getting anywhere near my wife. But I did not go to see my wife. I went there to see my son. When I left the school, a police vehicle stopped me. They stopped me and told me, "You are under arrest." I asked, why? Judicial disobedience. You are not allowed to come near your wife. I was in jail for 3 months for judicial disobedience. When I left jail, I was fired from both my jobs. Then I started to have depression, to the point of ending up on the streets. I lived on the streets for 3 years. 3 years. Those were the hardest 3 years of my life. Living on the streets. There, I got lost in drugs and alcohol, succumbing to the deceits of life. On the streets, I faced the greatest challenge of my life: survival. Survival was not easy on the streets. Firstly, I was run over by a car and had both legs broken. I could not walk for about 2 to 3 months. Then I started my journey again, the seeking of survival. When I thought everything was fine, one day I was sitting in a place when 5 men came to talk to me. They said, "Old man, what are you doing here?" I replied, "I'm just here, waiting for tomorrow." "So, we're going to kill you now," they told me. So, I left the place and went to another neighborhood. I was in a neighborhood called Inayina, here in Campo Grande. I knocked on a house to ask for water. And 2 pit bulls came under the gate and attacked me. I have never heard of anyone who has survived such an attack, but I did. I survived. And I bear the scars on my face, on my head, neck, and legs. The dog's owner spent more than 15 minutes trying to make the dogs let go of me. Once I was finally released, they called an ambulance, and I was taken to hospital between life and death. There had always been hell's wrath against me. It wanted to get hold of me at any cost so it could take my life, to kill people. All the evil that I cast out from other people's lives and from my own life came back against me when I left the church. But I always managed to survive. One day, a car passed by me with 3 men inside. I had never seen them before. They said, "Hey, you!" I was scared. "You stole my mother's mobile." I replied, "I do not know what you're talking about. I do not know what you're talking about. Get in the car, and if it was you, we are going to kill you." I did not care anymore. So the man looked at my face and boldly declared, "I'm going to tie you up. I will tie you up and you will spend the whole night like that. And tomorrow I will come to get you. If you are the one who did it, we are going to kill you." They took me to a place and tied me up on a tree. The way the tree bends, it looks like it had been prepared for me to sleep tied to it. They placed me there, tied my arms and legs, put a rope to my neck and said, "You are going to sleep in a sitting position." I said, "Okay, but who can sleep like that?" I spent the tensest night of my life. Can you imagine yourself tied up on a rainy night, full of ants and mosquitoes, from 10 p.m. until 7 a.m. the next morning? In the morning, they came back. "So, did you survive what we did to you?" I said, "I did. But from my gun, you will not survive, because if you stole the mobile phone, we are going to kill you," they replied. "We are going to check out now." They put me back inside the car and we went to the apartment complex. When we arrived, a woman was waiting for us at the gate. She looked at me and said to him, "Son, For the love of God, release this man. It was not him. This is another man. Let him go. He looked at me and said, I do not know what you have, man. Get out of my face. Disappear from here. Get out of my way. Then he slapped me. I started walking away. One day, God spoke to me. He spoke to me. I chose you. Child, I chose you. I chose you. Then God sent this man to find me. He sent this man in this picture here. He had been searching for me for 3 years. For 3 years, he looked for me. He approached me and said, I will help you. When he told me that, I felt a desire inside me. A desire arose inside. So I said, very well, I will go. Then I started walking towards the angel who was waiting for me. Rain, storms poured down. I started coming out from that journey on 3rd December. 3rd December 2023. I left at 7:04 in the morning from the place I was staying. The church was about 450 meters away. For me to arrive, it was 1:10 in the afternoon. On the way to church, many things happened to me. So many. I had difficulty walking. So I crawled. I crawled while the rain poured down on me. But finally, I arrived at the church. When I arrived, the pastor was leaving. He said, warrior, I will go out, but will be back soon. Eventually, he returned. His wife was there too. And she said, warrior, come inside now. I walked inside and they allowed me to take a long shower. I spent 30 minutes washing myself, using an entire bar of soap. The shower was long, but I had it with so much pleasure because I was at the place where I wanted to be. The pastor's wife started caring for me by cutting and doing my nails. After that, I went to a hair salon for a haircut. Once I finished, I returned to the church where I was invited to sit at the table. I sat down and started eating. After all these treatments that were given, I left there like a new person. Then I arrived here where I said I would go. When I reached the altar, I felt like God had straightened my life. Look at this picture. On the following day, there was the Lord's Supper. I looked to heaven and said, I came here for you to change my life. For you to change my life. I went up to the pastor in the middle of the meeting and said, Pastor, prepare the baptism pool for me because I will truly surrender. I am where I want to be. After the meeting, as you can see here, he baptized me. And in this one, I am here after the baptism. I returned to the church in the best time of life. I came in the best time to God. At the time of the campaign of Israel, There was 5 days to the campaign of Israel, of Mount Sinai. As I had come to the altar, I said, I will place my life here on the altar, and God will enter my life. I had previously worked in a place about 4 years earlier before I ended up on the streets. So I went up there again, took a lawnmower and cut the grass, leaving it very neat like a carpet. What happened to me at that car park was unbelievable. I had never received so much money in my life as I received there in a month. I greeted people. Good morning, good afternoon, how are you? So a person would take their car and give me tips. I will not say sums. I will not. But that was the best campaign of Israel of my life. Despite all the wrongdoings I committed in the past, I found a way out. That way out is the altar. When I descended from the altar, I was a new person, a completely transformed creature. I had not even begun seeking the Holy Spirit actively, but He entered my life nonetheless. I felt, well, actually, we don't rely on feelings. But everything within me was different. Everything changed. My thoughts, everything changed. Now, let me tell you, you must have that within yourself, a desire to find God in your life and to receive the seal of the Holy Spirit. Everything is about having a desire. You must have this desire. I achieved it. When God sees that you really want, He will also want. It has been 11 months since I reconnected, that I found the altar again, and God has straightened my life. Today, my legs may be crooked, but my head is straight. My mind is straight. Many people fight for money. Many people fight for power. Many fight for status. But not me. I have everything. I have everything. Today, I'm no longer a pastor. I am a man of God. Today, my life is better than all the time I had back there. In 11 months, I restored everything within. What's outside does not mean anything. What I have inside means everything.
There is a very important person in your journey who has a message for you.
Mr. Jose, God bless you abundantly in your life. It is full of satisfaction that I come here to say that day that God used a person to come to me and ask me if I knew you. I said I did, and from that day, the Holy Spirit put inside me, go and find him. And I went and we found you. God has started doing something in your life. And today, Mr. Jose, you are here. You have the Holy Spirit. God has given you the Holy Spirit. And with Him, you can have everything that you lost back. God is counting on you. God bless you abundantly. Listen, don't look back, okay? Remain focused and look forward, and greater things will happen.
I want to express my gratitude to him and his wife. I am happy about this. I am thankful that someone took the initiative to search for me because I had the same desire to be found. He had that desire to find me. What he has done for me is beyond what money could ever repay. There is no way to compensate for what he has done. However, I promise to give the best of me to others. My life is for God to use. because he found me.